dissect our simplest of if statements. So go on your terminal. I will, as I recommended before, I have a folder in my home directory called core. And I have, in this folder, I have another folder called unit 1. And in this unit 1, I have a folder called week 1. And in week 1, I have folders for each of the lessons that we have seen in week 1. Actually, this is week 2 now, right? So let me go back, create a folder week 2. And then cd into week 2. And then I'm gonna move my folder called conditionals that I have in week 1 to my folder in week 2. So now I have a folder week 2. Oh. Let's go to the parent. Let's see. Let me remove file types and operators. So I'm in week 1, unit 1. Week 1 has a folder called conditionals where I'm going to be working and doing my code. But I realized that that's week 2, so I'm just going to move it to week 2. Week 2, we know that is in unit 1. We have these 2 folders. So to move that, I'm going to do mv for move. What do I want to move? I want to move conditionals. I want to move it to the parent directory, and in the parent directory to week 2. I should see it here. Conditional is no longer here. I'm going to go to week 2, and I see mine. Okay, one last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to fix these names, go with 1 standard. So I'm going to move week 2 to be the same as week 1. Or renaming, actually, that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so let's go down in week 2. And I have my folder conditionals. So I'm going to cd into conditionals. And then here is where I want to create a folder where we're going to be experimenting. So I'm going to create a folder called conditionals. Sorry, a file. That's correct. We touched. Good catch. I'm going to call it conditionals.js. Okay, so now open that file with Atom. Oh. Okay, does everyone have a file open? Where did my file go? Okay, everyone has their file open? Thumbs up if you have your file open. What's going on in the table in the back? Nobody with thumbs up, only Malik? Okay. Cool, so let's write our first if statement. The first and simplest if statement is if true, then, which I denote here by the curly braces, console.log, it is true. Right, so let's dissect the structure of an if statement. What are some of the stuff that we note here as to what are we seeing, what are some special characters? Yeah. Anybody wants to point out something that they note about this? Right. These ones, right? I have these are called curly braces or curly brackets, and that's because they are curly, right? There are others like square brackets. Okay. So what Joanne pointed out is the curly brackets, and we put the curly brackets. We talk about, or we refer to that as the body of the if statement, or the block code of the if statement. And once we run this program, everything that is inside the curly brackets is going to run. Okay, so that's the first thing. Yeah.
Everything that's
in the curly brackets is going to be executed.
It has to have that included.
That's correct. Yes, this will be wrong. Okay. So that's the first thing. Anything else that we note? So we learn about the code block or the body of the if statement. Jonathan? If is a keyword, right? That's a really important fact. If is a keyword, and it shows you like that on that pink color in here. Okay, something else. There's one piece that we're missing. Where? A colon here? Here. So in here, we don't, for the curly brackets here, and in the curly bracket, we don't need a colon. We can have one here, though. But it's, again, not necessary. We are missing another component of the if statement. Else? No, we're not in else yet. Emil? Right. The condition will be here. And this is the part that we're missing. In this case, we have a condition that is true. So it's always going to be true. It's always going to run. And the condition goes inside curly braces, inside parentheses. So I could have something like 3 greater than 1. That is a condition, right? But in this case, before we move on to that, let's see the simplest example, which is just true. Right? If true, if this condition is true, in this case it is, then run this. So now let's go on to, let's save that file, and let's go onto our terminal and type node conditionals.js. Let's go onto our terminal. Yep. What does the error say for the entire class? Cannot find module what? Let's see. Yeah, maybe I can take a look. You've seen the same error? You couldn't exit with Control C. Right, we're not in node here. We're okay. Does everyone see this? This is true. It is true, right? Now let's see if the. So this is not very different from just writing console log. It's true, right? If I were to comment this out and I run my program again, still says the same thing, right? Because, well, this will always run. Does this make sense? here, an if statement whose condition evaluates to true always runs. Okay, so let's see what happens once we do if false. What do we think we're going to see here? Same thing? Who says the same thing? Thumbs up if you say the same thing. What's the same thing? Okay, that's it. What happened? Why aren't we seeing it is true? Michael? I'm not sure what you mean by that. O'Neill? Right, the condition is always going to be false, right? In here, this condition needs to evaluate to true for the code block or the body of the if statement to run. So here, JavaScript arrives here, is seeing if this is true. Is it true? No, and just keep going. That's it. Right? And an if statement is not the end of our program yet. We can keep writing other lines underneath. Yeah.
So by writing like false and true, you're setting the value or not, giving it a condition to check for.
That's correct. Yeah, we're saying this. We're imagining this is already evaluated and you evaluate it to false. This is the literal false.
Well, put like X to true when it works because there's no X.
X equal true. This will. What would this evaluate to? True or false? It was.
False.
Yes. Why?
Because X has.
That's correct. So let's see. Oh, actually, I think this might break. Let's see. Let's try to see if there is an X. For some reason we have an X. Right? So X is not defined. So that's that first line. So I'm just going to remove that. I'm still going to run it, see if my code breaks. Yeah, still breaks. X is not defined. Right? So in this case, our code is broken because X doesn't have any value. But we're going to get into more advanced conditionals in a few minutes. Okay, so the only thing that we need to remember is the anatomy of an if statement is the if keyword, parentheses, a conditional that will evaluate to a Boolean, and a body, which is denoted by the curly braces. Right, so who remembers when we talked about truthy values and for instance, a number that's not a Boolean but has a truthy or falsy value? Do we remember something like that? Yeah. Say that a little bit louder. Okay, yeah. So truthy and falsy is an implicit value that other data types that are not Booleans have. An implicit Boolean value that non-Boolean values have. I know that that's kind of a big statement. But for instance, 1. So do we remember when we said, let's say 1 is a number, right? Let's figure out their implicit Boolean value. We could do that. Let's go into node, right? So right now I'm in node, and then I type 1 and it gives me 1. But I'm interested in the implicit Boolean value. So I'm gonna say not 1, and then I'm gonna say not 1. What that's gonna do is gonna give me the implicit Boolean value of 1. So that is to say, JavaScript will take the number 1 as a true value. So How are we feeling about this? I know that is a little bit mind-boggling. Sergio? So there are, I wouldn't say most, there are truthies and falsies. And yeah. So let's see. So this, a negative number minus 1 is still truthy. Yeah. 0, false. And this, like, this actually matches binary theory, where a 1, where you have only ones and zeros. A 1 signifies true. A 0 signifies false. Okay, so what I'm trying to explain here is, let's do, so we found that the implicit Boolean value of 1 is true. So let's see it again here. I'm going to exit node, and let's see here. Let's do a more explicit message. Should. Now I'm going to say, node, please execute my file. Oh. JS. Right, it says 1 is truthy because it evaluated 1 and it found the Boolean value of 1 and it found that that's true. Right? If we do again, let's do 0. Where are we gonna get here? Pupil? It will be the same as if I had typed false directly here. I only see keep going. Right. Do we remember any other falsy or truthy? Actually, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to write 4 if statements that look like this, in the sense of the if statement and something at the end that is gonna always be executed. But here, find and Google, if necessary, or ask to your peers, what are falsy values in JavaScript? What are some of the false values? So we found 0 is a falsy value. There are others, but I'm going to let you discover those on your own. And so, for instance, I will say 0. And I'm going to say is 0 truthy? What do we know about this? Right? So we don't even see this y. So again, let's take 5 minutes, work with your peers, whoever is sitting next to you, and write another if statement like this under here, where you find values that will evaluate to false. So is that clear? Is it clear what I'm asking you to do? So find other values like 0 that are evaluated to false, and write 4 if statements with one if statement for each one of those values that you find that are same as writing false. Okay, you have 5 minutes. Me and JR are going to be circulating.
No, it's not.
Okay, let's get back together. What are some of those that you found? Tell me. Policy values in JavaScript. Hupo? Empty quotes? Empty string. Let's do here. Empty string is false. This will never run. Right? Okay, empty string. What else? What did you? Null. So we're gonna get into logical operators soon. Null. Okay. Ken. Array, is that a false or a truthy? Okay. Like that? Let's see. I'm not sure. I'm asking for falsy values in JavaScript. Right, but that will be an expression. This. Okay, but okay. So actually, this is a good example where we can use our not to find out. Let's see if an empty array, which we're gonna get to at some point, is truthy or falsy. Truthy. But that, so we want to find, this will be the opposite of square brackets. The opposite of square brackets is false. So if we want to get to what it actually is, we negate that again, we say true. So these square brackets are truthy or not falsy, but that's a good catch though. We learned one truthy value. Peter? Right? What does that stand for? Not a number, right? So in here, as I'm doing this if statement, and I'm adding ands to it, if any one of, actually I should be adding ors. If any one of these is truthy, then we're gonna see this. But we should not see this at any point. We should not see this console log happening. Any other falsy values? Oh, we found 0. Jan? Undefined, that's another one. Peter? Right, just literal false. And I think that's it. Anybody found anything else? Jonathan? Which one? The value that's equal to 0. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Could you say that a little bit louder? Uh-huh. Right, that will be this case. 0, the literal 0. So if I do here x, that will be the same thing. This x0 and then this 0 here, we just need to remember that 0 is a falsy value. Cool. Any other falsy values? Okay, so if I run this program, what should I see? Oh, node conditionals.js. Keep going and keep going. Why? Because none of these is a truthy, or in other words, all of these are falsy. Is that a little bit more clear? Okay, so we saw, thank you for those examples. Now let's move on to see if one thing is true. Yes, Camille. The parentheses?
It's true because it's false. It's correct because it's false, correct? So that's why it's writing out
That's, let me see if I can reword that. None of these expressions inside the parentheses are true. Therefore, we never go inside the if statement. This line never runs. If one of these is, if we have a true here, for instance, the OR says at least one has to be true to go inside. Now we should see it run. Oh. That's correct. Say, who said that? Deja, thank you. Right, because this is the only one true, and or only needs one. But so yes, just to reiterate, none of these are truthies. Therefore, we never go in here. Okay. Any other questions? Cool. So let's move on. What happens if I have more than one case? For instance, if I let's say you're asked to give a number from 0 to or 1 between 1 and 2, right? So let's say 1 is a win. So okay, let's remove this. How do we create a variable? Let I heard the name of the variable. I'm gonna call it num. Let's see num1. So I'm gonna say if num is equal to 1, then I'm gonna console log you won the prize. But what if num is not equal to 1? What is if it's equal to 0, for instance? Right? But I want to say 1. If num is 1, you won the prize. If it's 0, then you lost. So for that case, we have another keyword, the else keyword. The else keyword is also accompanied by the else body, which we denote here with the curly braces. Say that again? The curly braces, yeah. Yes. That is a good question. The two equal signs is not recommended because of a bug that JavaScript has, which is when you use 2 equal signs, you don't check the type. So if you do something like the string 1 is equal to 1, this is going to give you true. But these two things are not the same thing, right? This is a string, and this is a number. So the triple equal, also called strictly equal, checks the type, and it sees that the two types are different, and it gives you the right answer, which is false. So try to avoid double equal. Use always triple equal. Okay. I haven't found an occasion where I need to go the triple equal does everything that the double equal would do, and better. Okay, so we have if num is 1, you won the prize. Otherwise, you lost. What are we gonna see here once I run my program? Do this. Let's try. You lost. Why? Say that a little bit louder. Right. That's correct. This number is 0. So JavaScript comes here, checks the if statement. Is num triple equal to 1? What's the answer to that? False, right or not? And then it doesn't come here. It doesn't run this line. It goes straight to the else. We ask if num is triple equal to 1, then do that. Otherwise, do line 5, console.log. You lost. Okay, I want you to work in pairs again. Come up with 3 if-else statements where 2 of those is going to run the else or the second part, and 1 of those will run the first part, the body of the if statement. Is that clear? So working pairs, 3 examples. Those 2 of those are going to run the second part of the if statement, that is the else. 1 of those has to run the first side. And again, we'll have to focus on the conditional to accomplish that task. Okay, you have 5 minutes. Okay, who would like to share one example that they came up with? I'm gonna remove this. Check. Let. I'm sorry, you missed the name of the variable. A. Okay. Seven plus 14. Okay. It is true. Else. What am I missing here? Curly brackets. Okay, before we run this, what are we gonna get in the terminal? Not true. Thumbs up if you agree. Thumbs up if you agree that we're gonna see not true. Okay, cool. That's it. Not true. And we see something interesting here. We're gonna explain this expression that we're seeing here. What's happening first? Are we checking for num equals 7? Or are we doing 7 plus 14 first? Owen? We're checking 7 plus 14? Okay, yeah. That is a good question. We said yesterday JavaScript will evaluate left to right if the operators are of the same weight. In this case, I'm actually not sure what it's doing first. I will say it's doing the addition first. Let's see. Let's try out the addition that should match, and then we'll find out if it does. Camille? Right, exactly. Let's try that, and we'll find out what's going on. We'll find out what's happening first. Okay. So what did we find? It's doing the addition first. So with this, we'll kind of learn that the plus has more weight than the triple equal, so it's gonna be done first. Pupil? Yes. Well, I mean, there are other comparison operators. Cool. One more example. Deja. Say that again? Range? Well, what do you mean? Like this one? Okay, yeah, give me that. 21. Like that? Okay. In what console log? The first one? Okay, what do I type here? Could we then change that message? You cannot drink alcohol? Okay. Uh-huh. What are we gonna see here? Right, why are we, right, this is not safe. So again, let's get to a consensus. Thumbs up if you said you're gonna see you cannot drink alcohol. Okay, what are the others? The middle, not? Who says we're gonna see you can drink now? Okay, we're up for a surprise. Right, if drinking age is greater than 20, then you can drink. Right? So how do we fix this? Reverse the console log. Pupil? Great. Yes, there are two ways in which we could fix this. One is move around the console log. So I could take this one and put it in here, and then take this one and put it here. Right? Now we should see the same. Now we should see it fixed. But Hupel realized that we could also invert the conditional, and we should still see the same. Right? So less than or equal to? Let's see what we see now. You can drink. Yeah?
That's kind of weird.
Oh, wait. That's correct. Sorry. If it's greater than 20. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. This is like, someone read your quote and be like, what are you talking about?
So we're getting into a discussion about the legal drinking age. So how can we fix this then? Yeah. If you're 20, it should still say you cannot drink. So we could, if drinking age is less than 20, less than or equal to 20, you cannot drink. Does that make sense? Otherwise, then you can drink. Okay, so was it clear what we did here? I don't think it was clear. Who could explain this to me? I got confused. Mike?
Because what's 20 plus 20 is 1 and
Right.
yeah, but the output is because the age is yeah, but we don't know that.
You cannot ring at 20,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
That's what it would put.
You're saying like
Yeah.
it's less than age is 20.
Right. So this was a good example. Thank you, Dejan. Okay, so now there is a problem. What if I have more than 2 conditions? Yeah. Okay, let's do the day equal to Tuesday as a string. Okay. Right. We could do that, combine it with ors or ands. In this case, it makes sense with. But actually, we're gonna get to this later on. What I'm asking for is, let's say we don't know about or yet. Let's imagine we don't know that we could use that. Could I have another if, more conditions for this block of if statements? Those who read the notes, any hints that you found if you want to have more? Yeah. Else if, right? Where do I write that? Let's see. Here, like where this after the curly brace. So basically, here I can say something like else if day is equal to, let's say, Tuesday. Let's say then, for the message, let's say that is the second day of the week, depending on if you look at Monday as your first day. Not yet. Yes, this is how we could do 2 or more. 2 or more, yeah. Third. So, okay. Can I have another else if here? What else can I have besides an if else? Just the plain else, right? Let's see. Let's say that's a day of the week. I don't know that day of the week. Okay, let's run this. Yeah, Karen. Oh, I have a single quote here. Okay, so how can I fix that? Forward slash. Okay. What's another way? Pupil? Say that again. Change the single quote to double quotes. Right. So those 2 ways to fix that. Okay. Before we run this, what should we see in the console being logged? Say that a little bit louder. Third day. Okay, who can help me write? My program doesn't understand weekends yet. How could I make it understand weekends? Where? Where can I add more? A third condition? Okay, tell me what line should I type that in? And what to type? Line 4? Line 6, okay. Then what? Parentheses? What do I put inside the parentheses? Only Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. A good practice to do the else if after the closing bracket. That is correct. Yes, this is JavaScript good practice. Having the closing curly bracket followed by the next else if. There are other languages that prefer other ways. This is the way we do it in JavaScript. And this is, if you have it like this, your code is not going to break. But JavaScript developers are going to have a hard time reading your code. Or a slightly harder time. As long as it's inside curly brackets, you should be fine. But this is the standard for JavaScript. Okay, I want to go back to, yeah, thank you. I will need you to say that a little bit louder. I heard bracket on Saturday. Or here? Right, that's what Brianna was suggesting at the beginning, kind of having accounting for multiple days in one same condition. So here, if I want to take care of Saturday and Sunday, I could do day triple equals Sunday. Also, another good practice now that we're here is if your strings are double quotes, go double quotes all the way. Don't do like me that is mixing double and single quotes here. I'm just going to go double quotes with all of them. Oh, I've changed the last one, which will break my thing. Yeah, Joy? That is possible with, you select the thing that you want to change, and you do Command D, and it's going to find all of those. And then you could change them all at once. So here I could, for instance, remove everywhere where it said day. This is called multiple cursors. You don't truly need to, no. Command D, yes. Yeah, Hugo. That's a good question. Let's try that. So first, let's try what is it gonna say right now? What's my program gonna say? Yeah. Third day of the week. Let's change this to Sunday. What's it gonna say? It's a weekend day. And then, so JavaScript is gonna see this if statement, it checks the first condition. If it doesn't match, it moves to the second one. If it doesn't match, it moves to the third one. This one match, and it only runs this part. The else never runs because we kind of got out here. Okay, so Hubel brought up a point where what happens if this is just hello? What are we gonna see? So who says is gonna say second day of the week? Thumbs up if you think he's gonna say that's a weekend day. Thumbs up if you say the program is gonna say I don't know that day of the week. Where's the people in between? Okay, that's good. Thank you, Deja. Right, because day hello, you check hello with Monday, that doesn't match. Check Tuesday with hello, doesn't match. Saturday with hello, doesn't match. Or Sunday with hello, doesn't match. We go to the else. Does this make sense? Yeah.
Question. So now we have a if, else if, and else, right?
Uh-huh.
What if we do if, else if, else?
Good question. What happens if we move this else somewhere here? Like that? Right, let's try to run that. I have everything closed, right? Unexpected token else. And it says, also this is a good trick. If you don't know where your error is, this line is gonna tell you. It says, it's in the conditional JS file, line number 8. So I go to my program, line number 8, and it says, this else is saying it's an unexpected token else. So JavaScript here sees the else beforehand, and just if it says else if or anything after that doesn't make sense, it's gonna throw this error. Renee, you had a question? Okay.
Also, do you notice how the number line number 8, the else is in different color? That's another thing to like pay attention.
Right. This is the beauty of text editors that help you catch bugs. Okay, so we found that doesn't work. Let's get it back. Okay, so who can help me write? Actually, I think let's do this. In the tables that you're sitting, find and list each one's favorite color, and then write a combination of if, else, if statements where the color that matches, for instance, let's say color, my favorite color is red. So if the color is red, I'm gonna say that's fake color. And do other else if statements where you list the color of the other person, and the message should say that's that person's favorite color. So do that in groups of 4 or the tables you're sitting in.
Actually, actually double check. It's like, oh, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, did everyone get to finish? Okay, have 3 more minutes.
So that, yeah.
And I still need to include you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Everywhere else. Oh. Usually it does. Yeah. Oh. No. That's what you can't really say. Formation variables.
Okay, who wants to share their example on Slack so that we can all take a look at it? Yeah. Okay, we got some responses. Thank you very much. Let's see, who was the first one? Brianni. Let's look at Brianni's code. I'm gonna copy this from here. Paste it in Atom. That purple. Let's see whose favorite color is purple. Oh, that's no one's favorite color.
That was the last one.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. What should I change this to get Savita's favorite color? That's Alessandra. Pink. Right, that's Savita's favorite color. Cool. We learned the favorite colors of that table. Okay, so I hope you had fun with this exercise and got to know your peers a little bit better. Now, let's think about checking for ranges. What if we have the example that we had earlier where the drinking age was above 21? What if we want to have, let's say, a warning in our applications so that when if a person is less, whose age is less than 18, let's say, we display them a message saying they need parental supervision to access this website, for instance, or yeah. If they're greater than, if their age is less than 21, we could display a message saying parental permission is required, not supervision, but permission. And if their age is greater than 21, then we could say, you may proceed to this website or whatever, something like that. So before we do that, let's see how we could do it with else if statements. So let's do something that's age equal 18, for instance, or let's say 17. Now with what we just learned, we could say something like if age is less than 18, we want to warn them to, when they come to our website, saying console.log parental supervision is required. Else, if age is less than 21, we can say console.log parental permission is required. Else, console.log you may proceed. Okay. Any questions so far? Comments on these? Yep, Douglas? On line 2?
Just so that way, if they are 18,
Right. So let's say they're 18. Let's see what's gonna happen. Before we do that, what are we gonna see on the screen, on the terminal? What are we gonna see console log? Parental permission or supervision? Right? Why? So this conditional here evaluated to true. 17 is less than 18. Right? So Douglas pointed out, what happens if it's 18 exactly? What are we gonna see here? Joanne? Right, let's see. Parental permission is required. Well, we didn't match the first if statement. Yes, Renee? Mm-hmm. That's a good question. Who can answer that? Why can we see both parental supervision and parental permission? Pupil? Mm-hmm. That's correct. Once one condition is met, it ends the evaluation of the rest of the other conditions. Okay, so going back to this, why do we see parental permission is required? Pearl? Could you say that a little bit louder? Right, age is not less than 18, so we don't go here. We skip that. The next check we make is age less than 21. It is. We go to the line number 5 on the console log. Permission is required.
So,
yeah.
Now you raise the right, you also talked about it. So
That's correct. Yep. Okay. Now let's do an exercise where we invert this the operator. Instead of using the less than sign, we're gonna use the greater than sign. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes for you to flip this conditional, and well, you'll need to change these numbers as well, but you should still see the same thing for age 18 or age 17, in the sense that you're only allowed to use the greater than sign, but this program should still display the same information for the same age. Is that clear? So you have to rewrite this if-else statement so that it works. It still works, and the constraint is you can only use. You have to flip this. You have to use the greater than sign. But again, this if statement should still display the same information for the same age. Any questions about that? Change. Right, so what I want you to do is to only use the greater than sign and modify the conditions in whatever way is necessary to still get the same result. Okay, you have 5 minutes for that and we'll be floating around. Say that again? Wait. Where? Oh, my battery? Thank you.
Tried this like years ago. I mean, you go with that.
Okay, who needs more time? Raise your hand if you need more time. Cool, let's do 3 more minutes.
It's kind of like, it's my like the spaces or my things. Oh, yeah, that's like a man.
Okay, who would like to share the example? People? Could- Actually, could you paste it on Slack? Thank you. So let's see the differences. User age 17th. So if your age is greater than 21, you may proceed. If your age is greater than 18th, you need parental permission. Otherwise, you are a minor that needs actually, wait. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Peter?
You have to make it 21 to 20. I did the same thing before. I think 21
Right. Is everyone clear on that case? Let's see that happening. So if user age is 21, what are we gonna see? Is user age greater than 21? No. User age greater than 18? So it's gonna say parental permission. So here we wanted to include 21 in this first range. So we could have done greater equal to 21. In that case, once we run, we see, okay, yeah, this is the first one. And the one we're interested in is you may proceed. Okay. Does this make sense? Who has something different? Sergio? You have where? Here? Right. This will still work, right? So we could have done, did everyone see that? You could do greater or equal to 21, or the same thing will be to say greater than 20. These two conditions are implying the same thing. Okay, cool. So we got that, only using the greater than sign. I'm sorry if I forgot to mention that you could use the equal as well, greater than equal in this case. But yeah, okay. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so we kind of saw how we could use logical operators. Let's see, Gerard, give me a logical operator. Greater or equal to. Those are comparison operators. Okay, ampersand. What does that stands for or means? And okay, let's see, Giselle, give me a logical operator. A logical operator? Do you remember one? We saw that Sharar says the and is a logical operator. Or okay. Okay, so let's actually do something useful with it. How could we simplify this if-else statement where we say, where we could say if the user age is greater than or equal to 21, or wait, let's see, maybe with this one. Peter? Okay. Sure, let's look at that. So let's look at this example that Peter is providing. Adam, let age is equal to 100. So let's see, if age is greater or equal to 18 and age is less than 21, then you can say you can hang, but you can't drink. Else, if the age is less than 18, we could say you have to go home. Otherwise, come on in. Okay. Anything surprising here? What is the logical operator that we're seeing? Use and, right? So this is how we could include more than one conditional in the same if statement, sort of with the goal of asking for a range, asking from less or equal to 18 to less than 21. Okay. So we saw the example with the days where we said if it's Sunday or Saturday, now let's say that's a weekend day. Can we come up with another example where we use logical operators in the conditional? Anyone of you? Or, okay, give me an example where we could use or. Let's say in here, do I change that to or? Right. So let's do, let me take a look at here. So we did this example where we check if the day is Saturday or Sunday. Let's do this example where, actually I think we already walked over kind of the range. Let's see what is this doing? Let's see, let's grab Owen. Right, if the age of the user is greater than 18, and the user age is less than 45, then we ask them if they would like to receive a survey. Have you seen when you go to a website and it kind of tells you, would you like to take a survey or would you like to subscribe? This will be some kind of logic that we could have. That is if we know the age of the user. Paul, you have? That's correct, right. In here we have a range, like we could think about our target audience or the people who we want the responses from are people greater than 18, with ages greater than 18 and less than 45. So for instance, somebody with 46, we are just not interested in their opinions. Or somebody less than, let's say 10, a kid, we are not interested in their opinions either. For any kind of survey. Okay, so is that clear? Do we have any questions from here? Actually, I'm not going to move on until I don't get 2 questions. 2 questions on ranges, on logical operators, if statements in general. Joy?
Is there a preferred maximum amount? Like, can you put many conditionals in a statement?
You mean like else if? Doing something like this?
And then more like one line each.
Oh, okay. Something like age. Let's say our target group is between 18 and let's see, we 21, and between the 40s. So let's do age greater than 40 and age less than 50, for instance. There is no limit. You can just keep going. But here, this if statement is kind of hard to read. So a good practice will be to break it down into. So we know that we have 2 age groups. Let's do this from the 20s to their 30s. The first group will be 20 to 30, right? That's including the 20. And the second group is 40 or 41 rather. Let's do equal to 50, excluding 50. So since we know that those are our 2 age groups, we should group them with parentheses in here. Say this is our first one, and this is our second one. And we could experiment what would happen if we don't group them. Let's actually do that. So here we can say that, let's say you are let's do some concatenation here. You are age am interested. Let's do would you like to take the survey? A more appropriate example. Okay, if you're less than, you can go home. Otherwise, just come in. So let's run this. I'm gonna comment out this so that we don't see it. Let's run our program. Come in. Okay, we're 100 years old. Let's say we're 25. What are we gonna see? Sorry about that. Oh. If my age is 25, what am I gonna see? Brianna? Sorry, Brianna first.
Wouldn't it come up like the first condition is the S is and, so both things are first one is true, but the second one's false. So it's gonna be not gonna kick out of that equation.
Right, Brianna spot the bug that we have here. The bug is both sides of an and have to be true for this entire expression to evaluate to true, right? And what do we know about human aging? It changes and you can only have one, right? So there is no way somebody could be 25 and at the same time 45, right? So what would be a more appropriate operator here? Okay, now what are we going to see? Right. Now let's see if it still works if we remove this. The parentheses grouping our expressions. Okay, it still goes there. I think it might be because it's going to evaluate this one first. And then this is an OR, so because this one evaluated to true, it's just not going to check this. So let's try something like, let's see, 45. Okay, still works. Right, and then here, what rule or what order of operations are we going with? Hubel? Right. We said that the comparison operators. No, it should. Okay. We said that the comparison operators will have more weight than the logical operators, right? As we saw in the example of age triple equals 14 plus something else. So those are going to be done first. So in this case, this will go to true. Now this will go to false and false. This entire expression evaluates to false. After that, we check the other side of the OR. We have 45 is greater or equal to 40, that's true, and age less or equal to 50, that's true. So let's see, how could we break this down? I guess what I'm asking is, well, let's think about this. We have an odd number of logical operators. So we have the AND, the OR, and another AND. I think in this case, it knows that the one in the middle will connect the other two, but I think it should start to get confused if we do something else here, like AND age greater than 90, for instance. This is starting to get messy. Let's see. Come on in. Right? I mean? Now we have two ages in this example. Right. So let's try an OR here. Okay, still works. Okay. So I guess the lesson that I'll leave you with is for your peers and the people who's going to be looking at your code once you're working on teams, this statement, you can see how hard it is for us to reason with it, because we're like the confusion of what's going to happen first. So for yourself and for the people working in your team, it's better if you group the two conditions to be more explicit, so that I remove this one. less than 50. So that we make it more clear the fact that we want to evaluate this first, and this should return true or false, or the right side that should return true. One of these two sides should return true for the if statement to evaluate the body. Is that clear?
Say that again, one of the.
Right, on an or statement, at least one of the sides needs to be true for the condition to evaluate to true, or the expression. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see what else do we have here. Okay, let's move on to ternary operators. The ternary operator is just a different way to have an if statement. Like, we'll have, let's do this. Let's go back to the original example of drinking age. And what we're going to do is rewrite this. Yes, Brennan? Sure. The original code? This is the original code. Uh-huh. If you remove it,
If age is greater than 48, then I remove age and less than right here. After that.
this one,
If
line 12. Okay.
After n, I remove age and the less than sign. Level 21.
Like that?
Now that's what I'm on.
Just 21? Like,
And then I ran it, and I got.
let's see. Let's open this on the side. You can have, but you can't drink.
And I wonder why that is.
Right.
Something like some certain lines, even though
Not being removed? You mean you erase them with backspace and
still.
do you make sure that it's saved, the file? The file is saved? Okay, maybe Jar, could you take a look at first? Okay, so what's happening here? Pupil? Right, that's exactly what's happening here. The right side, the left side is true, and the right side is true, because what did we see? Let's see the implicit value of the implicit value or Boolean value of 21. The implicit value, the Boolean value of 21 is true. So it's literally as if I had written true here. Say that again. I cannot hear the first part. Is that right? Every number is true, but 0 is false. Yes, even negative numbers. I will say, I don't know about infinity. Negative numbers are true. Okay. Yeah, Joanne. Yeah. You mean this else? Move it up like here, or like here. Put the else here, right? Is that what you're saying? This is still the same error. You see this change color, and then I do node conditional, and then node is complaining that that is an unexpected token. So yeah, you cannot put. Basically, what we're saying here is you cannot have other ifs or else ifs after the else. If I do this, I think I'm afraid this might works. Yeah, this works. But this is technically a separate, completely separate if statement. So let's go back. After an else, you cannot put else ifs ever. Okay, so Renee, is that a little bit more clear how 21 is a truthy? Cool. Okay. Yeah. If not, you can come to us after. Mhm. Okay. So I said we're gonna rewrite this if statement with ternary operator. So first, oh, actually, not this example. Let's go to this one. And for now, let's actually simplify it even more. Let's do this. If you're less or equal to 21, you need parental supervision. Right, so just to recapitulate, who says we're gonna see parental supervision is required? Thumbs up if you say parental supervision is required. I see a very few thumbs up. Okay. Who says is gonna say you may proceed? Cool. Let's see what we have. Right, parental supervision is required because again, a 17th is less or equal to 21. That is true. Now let's rewrite this in a ternary form. We could do the same if we. So let's write it and then we're gonna dissect it. First, in the ternary, we write the condition. So I'm gonna do condition less or equal to 21, and then we do question mark, which kind of makes sense, right? We're asking sort of a question. So after we ask the question, we say, if this value is to true, we're gonna execute what is after the question. So let's do console.log. Just copy this. I'm gonna expand this so that we can all see. Say that again. Yeah, I don't really like word wrapping. Okay, so we do that. So in here we're asking if this is true, then do this. And kind of like the else of the ternary operator is the colon. And then I'm gonna put what I have in the else on this side. So after the question mark, this is if the statement, if the expression is true, this is what it's going to execute. If the expression is false, this is what it's going to execute. And this is the expression we are evaluating. Again, this will evaluate either to true or false. Yeah. Right, in the ternary, it's a completely different way to structure an if-else like question. Yeah. That's a good question. When is this preferred over the else or if-else? Is when we have really small kind of questions, small changes that we want to make in our code depending on an expression. This gets really unmanageable as you do for instance, there is no way to do else if in ternary, and you could nest them, but it gets like you're not unable to read it. So this is for kind of small one-line kind of questions that we want to make in our code. Bro? That's true. I simplified it for demonstrating that we could rewrite the if statement in a ternary form. So I removed the else if.
So the else if is the third.
In an else if, yes, it will be considered a third option, but we cannot really do that on ternaries. Okay, so run that, and you should see the same thing. If you still have this, the original if statement. Okay, how does this feel? Pupil?
So when you one side has
What is the size that you're talking about?
see where you put the semicolon.
Uh-huh.
One has two, one has three balls. So we add
You mean like if I could do another column here?
yeah.
Let's try. Well, let's see if, in this case, we're going here, right? And just like in an else and an if else, nothing else gets evaluated. So let's try to do age. Let's try to kind of get into the false. So let's do age 100. Uh-oh. JavaScript didn't like that. It says unexpected token, colon, and it points out to this one. We can see that JavaScript doesn't like when we have more columns. Yeah.
So each time you use the operator, you only have one.
Each time we use the operator, ternary. Yes. You have so in other words, the question mark is if it evaluates to true, and then the colon is kind of like the else. Or rather, this will be if this condition evaluates to true, then we do this thing. If it evaluates to false, we do the second one. Say yeah, otherwise. Let's see what it gives us now. You may proceed. You are?
Yeah, so one thing that OM found is really interesting is you could age inside the string, right? It's sort of like when age equals string 100. And when you use that, it's still invalid.
Wait, could you say that again?
So like the age is inside the string, right?
All the ages?
Yeah, no, not all age, it's just like the initial age.
Okay, this one.
Yeah, so that's in the string, right?
Yeah.
Then it's like put that as like example, like
Parental supervision is required.
because that interprets the string as a number.
Right.
So that's the one thing about the JavaScript is like sometimes like, you just like you feel like the most unexpected stuff like this. Like, but would you think that like if you put the string is different number types?
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Right, that is a really good kind of edge case that we have to be in the lookout for. I wonder if we could do this. No. So yeah, watch out for comparison operators greater than or equal to there are strings. They could come and bite you. Thank you, JR. This is something that I didn't remember. Cool.
Even like less than
No, I tried and it didn't like it. Unexpected token. Okay. So how do we feel about ternaries? They're not super used, but again, for little small questions like this, they come in handy because you could write it in one line. Okay, let's have 5 minutes for you to come up with a ternary expression of your liking. Yeah, come up with a Boolean expression that is going to be your question, and write it in the ternary form. Dude, you had a question?
Does that end with semicolon?
They don't need to be wrapped in anything special. If I were to have more conditions here, I would recommend you wrap the expression less than 50. I don't know if that answers your question. Yeah, we didn't get to what happens if we have if we're doing multiple things. I'll let you experiment with if you do this. If you have multiple lines that you want to execute in an if statement, you will need to wrap them here. But that's something that is very rarely seen. So I'm just not gonna go into that. Yeah, Mike. Like here, if I just type true here.
Yeah.
Right here. What are we seeing here? Parental supervision is required, right? Because this is saying if this is true, then do the stuff followed by or prepended by the question mark. Otherwise, do the stuff that comes after the column. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah,
Right. Yes. And instead, all if statements, all ternary are yes or no questions. Okay. So come up with one or two ternary expressions like this. It might be with your age. It might be the favorite color. Yeah, you're gonna have. Let's do 5 minutes for that. Okay, so who would like to share some of the ternaries that they came up with? Louis? Yeah. What should I type here? Oh, great, that's better. Let's see Douglas example. Oh, that pigeons 3. If pigeons is greater or equal to 2, that's too many pigeons. Otherwise, I'm okay with that amount of pigeons. That's a good one, especially being in New York. Let TV show Gravity Falls. If TV show is equal to Gravity Falls, then that's my favorite TV show. Otherwise, yeah, that's good too, I guess. I've never seen Gravity Falls. What is it about?
It's a lot of mystery about like a first track in Oregon.
Okay.
And like run by like a little guy.
That sounds good. Is it on Netflix or it's on TV?
It's on Hulu for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Let's see one more. Let's see Giselle's example. Your net worth. What is this? Is this a million? 3. This is 1 billion. Is that correct? This is, if this was a string, it will be this is 1,000 million, which is a billion, right? No? That's how we can tell that we don't have that that much money. We're not even able to name it. Okay. Cool. Let's see this one. Node. Oh, I think we didn't run Google, but I guess we'll see it here. So we see that's too many pigeons, right? That's correct because we have 3 pigeons. That's his favorite show. And then on Giselle it says, if it's greater than 1 million, if you have more than 1 million, please donate some money to charities. Otherwise, save up. So let's see it saving up. Let's say you have only $1. Right. That person has to save. Okay. So now we have 20 minutes to go to lunch. I'm gonna ask you to check out in the lesson. Check out the switch. Check out the switch statement. Read it, and then try to rewrite the example that you did in the tables, where every one of you had a favorite color. And we're gonna rewrite that example using the switch statement. So you have that until you have 20 minutes for doing that. JR and me are gonna be floating around, and I'm just gonna let you try to figure out this on your own. And if you have any questions, we are here to help. So again, the exercise is rewrite the exercise that you had where every one of you had their favorite colors. Write it in the switch statement manner. Is that clear? Cool. That'll be 20 minutes, and then when the timer rings, you can go to lunch. For the afternoon, we're gonna be working on the lab, and that's it. Just make sure to be here back at 2.
Okay. That's so it's not. It's fine.
Yeah, so basically, it's gonna turn it's gonna execute this function in this function. Yeah. Yeah, so if this condition matches this condition right here, if it's pink and if this is pink, then yeah, so basically this is gonna be pink but color. So because basically what it's looking for is the switch color is color. So switch color is color. Color here and the case of the color is orange. Yeah. It's not one. Yes. Yeah, so case, if you do case, yeah, so do you want this? Yeah. So let me see this. which console is going to right. So let's explain this code later, right? So when you see switch here, yeah, basically it's looking for it's going to look for the variable ASP or this right here. So whatever the case is, you decide is depending on what the value is. Right. Then in this case, like which one matches? Like in this case right here matches basically because it matches higher, it's going to run this code right here. Basically, it's just whatever value yeah, until it finds anything, it's not finding anything. Like, it's out of it. Here. If you don't have a kiwi, then yeah. It's gonna run it. Yeah, so basically, I think that's like myself.
Yeah, so it's always like rejected. Like, this way. Or if it's not that, it's not one day, I didn't have the problem. Oh, yeah. Oh,
So basically, so like
and then we have a I feel like I'm never crazy. Someone is calling me like, It's always such a great experience. Yeah, so it's like Spain. First in Spain, marriages. You are. That's how it is. Yeah. And then you take it too far, you're like, no, that's better. That makes you like, again, like, I'm not really worth it. Like, have space. Big idea. Like, this thing, I'm not exactly sure.
That's the, you know how I memorize things? It's how I memorize things. I keep it simple. So if you change words, that goes with this thing, that's very good for
I use that example.
Okay, that means it's time for lunch. Be back here at 2. Thank you.
Yeah, just following along. But I can't I'm not in the room. I'm just like curious. Any other? You're good to go, right? Okay. One sword is there, and then just drop this way. Okay, thank you. So you don't have to touch this. Wow.
Except for when, older percentage of this.
Electric properties, that's what we need. Wait, you should.
I was looking for a question. How about this now? No, if I like something. Yeah. Like, I was gonna wear it with his dress, but I'm like, well, let it work. Wait, right?
It's okay. But this is I have to go there. I think either or. So you get back to class. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, I like that.
still almost. Yeah. What about you? Yeah.
Right. That's fine. But it's means it's supposed to be. It doesn't matter. Still, take a chart. Okay.
It's going well. Yeah, they were. I gave them some exercise where they had to kind of figure it out on their own, and they were open to ask questions and stuff like that. And then right after we get back, I'm gonna introduce the lab. We're just gonna be doing that.
Right, so that's when I'm manipulating.
Correct. That's correct. Yeah.
Also, I created a channel.
Okay.
Did you see that?
No.
It's okay.
Web tech. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. The thing will be I would need
just have
to add,
you have to add
other
the
ones.
students, yeah.
and I wonder if there must be an easy, quick way to do that, because I don't want to have to like name them all here. For instance, do this, and then I have to do somebody else.
Oh. Yeah, there is an easy, quick way to do it. If you go back. So see, add people to this private channel, and then add to website continue.
But I still have to say their names.
There's
here.
a way to get a link.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then you share the link.
Let's see. Add people to the channel.
Via link.
Link to channel.
Hmm?
So link to a public channel. And like type.
Oh no,
Oh.
I didn't make the channel public. I made it private.
We see a link to the original message.
I made it private so only 6.2 full stack web fellows can actually access that material and be a part of that.
Okay, I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna see how I can add them.
Failing that, I can just add it myself.
Do you know if Malik is having trouble accessing Canvas because he forgot his password? Do we know if we have that password here?
No,
Nowhere here.
no, he creates his own password, so he has to do a password reset.
But even that, he's not allowed because Canvas asked him his password to change his password.
What?
But so maybe I can reset his password. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he has
look
to
at that.
reset it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I know that I think they had.
As long as he accesses his email account, he should be able to, his pursuit email account,
Yeah,
he should be able to reset his password to Canvas.
But that's the thing, that Canvas is asking for the password to let him go to his profile to change his password. But I'm gonna say I think I should have enough permission here
Okay.
to like just change.
His password for him to 1, 2, 3, 4 or something, and then he can.
Actually, maybe I cannot do that.
For now. How did you access that?
What?
Oh, you went to
These people. Yeah.
and then all the students are there.
Oh,
Fellows are there.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm gonna need to ask Charlie. Okay.
All right. I have to go.
Okay. See you.
I'll see you.
Like, do you remember if you picked a password for Canvas? Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna see if I think we might need to reset your password. Like, yeah. Wait, did you try a password that you commonly use? And it still doesn't let you in. Okay. Actually, could you let me see your email one more time? Okay. We definitely don't have anything. So I'm gonna see if we can reset your password. Um, see how we can help you. All right, cool. Thank you.
How's it going?
What's up, Rich? Good. How are you?
Not too bad.
Cool. Wait, today was the exam?
Yeah, we have it at 2:15.
2:15. Okay.
That's it. It seems like it's gonna be straightforward.
Okay.
I
Cool.
think I'll do it.
Cool. Okay. That's good. That's good. I feel like confidence in what you know is good to have in that moment.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, good luck, man. Let me
Thank
know how it goes.
Thank you.